In today's video, we're going to take the plain, boring puddles that we made last week and add rain ripples and wind ripples to them and make them look like this. So let's get started. Alright, so when we left off last week, we had puddles that look like this. And basically what we're going to do today is add the rain ripples and the wind ripples. And so the first thing that you need to do is go back to a tutorial that I made a while ago. Let's take a look at that. So this is the rain puddle shader, and it's episode 17. And I'll put a link to this down in the description. But basically what this is going to do is we're going to make a function called weather wind ripples. And this video will go through step by step and show you how to make this function. So this is the function that you need first. So go ahead and pause this video now. Go back and watch that one, and it'll describe how to make this function. All right, what we're going to do next is create a new function here. So I'm going to go materials, material function, and we're going to call this one weather puddle ripples. And this function is going to contain both the wind ripples and the rain ripples. So the first thing that I need to do is to bring in my wind ripples. And this is my wind ripples function. This is the one that I talk about how to make in episode 17. And so go ahead and create this. If you want to pause the video right now and go ahead and build this, you can do that. Or if you want to go back and watch the episode 17 video that describes how to build it, that's fine. Either way, but go ahead and build this. And then we're going to add this ripple. We're going to add this function to our weather puddle ripples. All right, so here's our weather wind ripples function. And basically you can see here that I just have two normal maps and they're scrolling across each other. I'll put a link in the description to where you can download this normal map as well. And so this is pretty easy. I can just take my normal and plug it into the output result. And the other thing that I need is a constant value for the wind. And if I plug this into wind, that'll control how much wind is blowing. And if I give it a value of 0, it'll reduce my ripples down quite a bit. But then if I give it a value of 1, it'll make the wind stronger. So there's a very basic version of my weather puddle ripples function. And I can go ahead and add this now to my landscape material. So let's save it. And we'll open up our landscape material. Here is the weather puddles landscape function that we made last week. So if you haven't watched last week's video, go ahead and do that. You can put this weather puddle landscape function right here. Just like we talked about last week, we use this to remove the grass from areas where the puddles are. And we also use this to remove puddles from areas where we have the river on the landscape. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add our normal ripples, and they're going to go right here after the get materials attribute. And before I add our function in here, I want to describe why we're putting it where we are. We put our weather puddles function here, which is going before the runtime virtual texture. And that's because for the most part, this portion of the puddles is static. I know the puddles are able to shrink and grow, but that's something that happens slowly over time. But for the most part, this bit of our puddles function is static. And we want things that are static to go into the runtime virtual texture. But then after the runtime virtual texture, we want to be able to do dynamic things. Right now we have our runtime virtual texture unplugged, but if I were to plug the runtime virtual texture sample bit here into the root material, I would want to put my animated normals here in between sampling the runtime virtual texture and passing the results into the root of our material. And that's because we want animated effects to go after the runtime virtual texture so that those effects don't have to update the entire texture every frame, which would just destroy your performance. Okay, so let's go ahead and tear this off. And we're going to add our new weather puddle ripples function in here. And then we'll add it back in. So here's our weather puddle ripples. And there's actually one thing I forgot. I forgot that we need a way to bring the normal into the weather puddle ripples. And so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll switch back, and we need to add two inputs here, actually. We need a function input for the normal. And we also need a function input for the mask. And so this is going to be our puddle mask here. And this one, instead of being a vec3, we're going to make it a scalar. And we'll just call it mask. We're going to give it a sort priority of 1 and use preview value as. And then for the input normal, we're just going to default that to 0, 0, 1. And so now it has a nice default. Then we're going to add a lerp node here. And we're going to blend between the incoming normal and the puddle normal using the mask. All right, let's clean things up just a little bit so that it's a little bit more clear what's going on here. So here's our incoming normal. Oh, whoops, I plugged things in wrong. All right, so here's our mask. Here's our incoming normal. And here's our puddle normal. All right, so we're going to blend between our landscape normal and our puddle normal using the mask. Great, so there's our function. I'll save it and we'll switch back to our landscape material again. All right, so here's our function. You can see that it's updated now and it has the normal input and the mask input. So here's my normal. This is the normal that's generated for my landscape. I'll plug that into my weather puddle ripples function. And here is my puddle mask coming out of my weather puddles landscape function. I'll plug that in, and then I'll take the result out of there and plug it into the normal of my root node. All right, let's save that and see what it looks like on our landscape. All right, cool. That's looking better already. So our puddle is looking pretty realistic. It's got the wind blowing on it, and the wind is creating these really nice ripples. It's no longer just kind of dead flat like it was before. So we could just leave it at that if we wanted to, but what we're going to do is take this a little bit farther. We want to make it so that we can have rain in our environment, and the rain will create rain ripples in the puddle as well. So for that, we're going to go back to episode 16. And what I want to do is have you watch through episode 16. This is a fairly complex effect to create. But in this episode, I walk you through it step by step and make everything really clear so you can create these really nice rain ripples in your puddle. So go ahead and go through this episode and create the function for creating the rain ripples. And let's go ahead and minimize this and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the function that we created in episode 16 for just creating one set of ripples. And what I did is I took this material function and I used it 4 times, these 4 functions here, and then I combined the results of those 4 normals into one so that the set of ripples is scaled and offset in time. And the goal of that is to make it so that the ripples never repeat themselves. So we have each of these sets of ripples going at a different speed, offset in space and also offset in time. And it creates a really nice set of ripples that we can then add to our puddles. So I'm going to go back to my weather puddle ripples again. And we're going to tear this off. And we need to add our weather ripples function to this. So I'm just going to grab weather ripples and click and drag that into my weather puddle ripples. All right, now the last thing that we need to do is combine our weather ripples and our weather wind ripples together. And this is fairly easy to do. We can just use an add node and add these 2 normals together. But we don't want to add the Z component of the normal. And so I'm just going to do a component mask here and just grab the R and G component. And then instead of using the B component, I'm going to add an append. And what this is going to do is it's going to take the R and G components of my ripple, and then I'm just going to append one more component, and I'm going to give this a value of 1. Now, as I've said in a couple of other videos, appending a 1 to a normal like this is not strictly mathematically correct, but because we don't really care that our ripples are perfect normals, we can do this, and it's a performance optimization. If I were going to actually use the Z component, or the blue component, the blue channel, I would need to do a square root to derive what that value is. And so just using a constant value of 1 is a cheaper way to do that. All right, so I'm going to wire this into my lerp now. And it's giving me an error, and basically it means I don't have things hooked up here in my weather ripples. So for intensity, I'm just going to wire the 1 in for now. And then for the UVs, I'm going to use the world space position. And I'm going to mask out just the X and the Y channels. And then I'm going to multiply that to get the correct scale. And the value that I'm going to use here is 0.0045. And I've tested this, and it gives me some nice size on my ripples. Okay, so I'm projecting my ripples from the top down with the red and the green channel of my world space position, and then scaling that by 0.0045 to get a nice scale. All right, so let's save this and switch back to our landscape and take a look at our result. And there we go. We've got some really cool looking wind ripples, and now we've added the addition of these rain ripples as well. And that's looking really great. There is one more thing that I want to add to these ripples, and that is the ability to control them in the material instance. So let's switch back to our weather puddle ripples material function. And instead of this constant value of 1, I'm going to go ahead and convert this to a parameter. And we're going to call this parameter puddle wind. And for the group, we're going to put it in the weather category. And then I'm going to make another parameter. And we're going to call this one rain. And we're going to put it in the weather category as well. And I'm going to hook this up to the intensity of the rain ripples and hook that one up to the intensity of the wind ripples. So our default value is 0, our maximum value is 1, and the same thing with the wind. All right, so now that I've exposed these parameters in my material instance for the landscape, I'm able to control how heavy it's raining and also how hard the wind is blowing. So let's switch back over to our landscape again. And I'm going to open up the material instance and tear it off and just kind of let it float. And you can see that now that I've added these two, I have my puddle wind and my puddle rain. And you can see right now there's kind of a default amount of wind that's not very strong, but if I turn on puddle wind and then set this value to 1, it increases the strength of the normal in the puddle. So that's pretty cool. So we can control how hard the wind is blowing, basically how strong these normals are. I can also control how much rain there is. So if I turn this up a little bit, you can see it's just kind of gently sprinkling right now. But as my value goes from 0 to 1, the higher this value gets, the stronger these ripples are until it's raining really hard at a value of 1. So pretty cool. Now that we've added these puddles to our landscape material, we can control the puddle accumulation. We can control the puddle color and the puddle opacity. We can control the amount of wind that's blowing on the puddle. And we can control how much rain is hitting the puddle. So we've got lots of nice controls over exactly what the puddles are doing on our landscape. So just like we normally do each week, we're going to end the video by taking our mannequin for a run here and taking a look at our landscape. You can see that the puddles add some really nice dynamic detail to the landscape. They accumulate in the areas where the landscape is flat. And we've got the nice rain ripples and wind ripples going. And everything's looking pretty cool. So I'm happy with our result today. And I hope you like it too. And that you can add some dynamic puddles to your landscape and add wind ripples and rain ripples and get really good results with it too. If you do get good results, I'd love to see what you do with it. So post a link in the comments to your results and I'd love to take a look at those. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good week and come back next Thursday for another great material video in Unreal Engine. Thanks for watching.